Do you guys see this weapon right here? This is Cyril's regime, nicknamed Nazi regime, because it used to be such a good weapon in the Crucible, and this weapon has faded into oblivion because people have complained that Cyril's was overused in the Crucible and that the auto rifle class needed a nerf. That the auto rifle as a class needed a nerf. So what happened was that Bungie completely nerfed auto rifles to oblivion. Cyril's regime is actually a weapon that was very dear to me because it was my first exotic weapon I ever got from a Nightfall, and I remember my friends convincing me to get Destiny, and when I finally did, we did they were literally carrying me through the Nightfall, my very first Nightfall, and I received that weapon, and I read the lore about Cyril's regime, and I was absolutely fascinated by that weapon, and I used it all the time in Crucible, and I absolutely loved it, and I didn't understand at the time why people were complaining so much about Cyril's, because surely if everyone has Cyril's, then the people that have the better gun skill will outgun other Cyril's users. If two players use Cyril, one is gonna have to come out on top, and it's usually the player with the better gun skill. So I never really understood why people complain so much about Cyril's. The second thing as well is the fact that Destiny weapons are not like any other first-person shooter. Weapons in Destiny are expected to work in the tier system. Exotics are expected to outperform their legendary counterpart. So when I see a lot of people with Vanquisher or Shadow Price and they get taken out by Cyril's regime, it's only normal because Cyril's regime is an exotic auto rifle, and I don't expect it to to be beaten easily by other legendary weapons. So I completely disagreed with the nerf on Cyril's regime, and what happened? The auto rifle class got nerfed into oblivion, and now everyone is complaining that auto rifles, they can't use their shadow price, they can't use for the people or whatever good auto rifle like the Vanquisher they had during the first the vanilla game. And now we find ourselves again in a similar situation where history repeats itself with Thorn. Now, since the auto rifle nerf, hand cannons and pulse rifles have come to prevalence in the Crucible, and now everyone is complaining about Thorn. Thorn seems to be the big issue with the Crucible at the moment, when I think things like final round in Trials of Osiris or the range of shotguns are probably more important issues, but I digress. So Thorn, is he actually overpowered? Does the fact that so many people use Thorn mean that the gun is overpowered? And that's the point of this video. I want us to look at the facts and judge for ourselves if the weapon is actually overpowered or not. First of all, I need to repeat again that weapons in Destiny are supposed to work in a tier system. It's not like Call of Duty where every weapon is supposed to work the same, every weapon is supposed to have the same time to kill or whatnot. Destiny weapons work in the tier system, so exotics are supposed to outperform legendaries, so we need to get that in our heads. So now Thorn, to first decide if Thorn is overpowered, we need to compare it to its closest opposition. And what is the closest opposition, or the closest opposition of Thorn? It's the Last Word. If you compare Thorn to the Last Word, you actually realize that one, the Last Word has a faster time to kill than Thorn. The fire rate of Last Word is absolutely insane, and a skilled player with Last Word that can fire from the hip will constantly take out a Thorn user. Thorn is more mid to long range, Last Word is more close to medium range, but a very good Last Word user will always take out a Thorn user of similar skills. So compared to its immediate rival, which is Last Word, Thorn is not actually overpowered. If you compare it to Hawkmoon and Thorn are quite similar. Hawkmoon is more of a kind of long-range sniper, if you call it that, and it's capable of a 2 headshot kill, just like Thorn. If one of the lucky shots proc with Hawkmoon, you get an instant 2 headshot kill, and you don't even get to crawl around the corner or fight back with a grenade or anything like that, which will be the case with Thorn. So when you compare Thorn against Last Word and Hawkmoon, Thorn is actually quite similar. Thorn is not actually the best. Someone with better gun skill will take you out. And then there's also Vex Mythiclass. Vex Mythiclass, if you use headshots on using the Vex, oh my god, you will obliterate the competition. I've noticed that a lot of Vex users actually aim for the body when they should be aiming for the head. Vex Mythiclass has an aim assist of 100. That's the highest aim assist in the entire game. It has faster fire rate, more ammo, more range, and more stability than Thorn, Hawkmoon, and Last Word. It will take out Thorn, Last Word, Hawkmoon users in an instant if you use headshots with Vex Mythiclass. So the Vex, in my opinion, is actually the best primary exotic in the entire game. Another weapon that's quite popular since the prevalence of hand cannons is obviously pulse rifle, and one of the best pulse rifles, which is actually considered a rival to Thorn, is Red Death. Red Death, actually something funny really happened when I recorded this video, because I decided that I was gonna play with Vex, Thorn, Last Word, Hawkmoon, and Red Death, and the Messenger. I'll play 5 games, 2 matches of Control and 3 matches of Rumble, so I can have a feel of the weapon and actually decide for myself if Thorn was OP. And something very funny happened when I played Red Death. I constantly had the highest KD using Red Death. That is something that's really strange. On this map, on Anomaly, I actually had the KD in this control match. I had a KD of 12.5, which is one of the highest that I've ever had. I've noticed that because the weapon regens health all the time, I was getting into new gunfight fresh, and I was always able to overtake to outgun the competition. And Red Death has one of the best perks on auto rifle, on pulse rifles. It's got unflinching, which is absolutely amazing, because even when you get shot, you can still get that headshot even when you're shot at. And when you overcome when you beat the competition, you get instant health regen, which is considered like it's considered a Thorn, a counter for Thorn. So how can Thorn be that overpowered if he has a straight counter? Surely if you want to go against Thorn user, you can use your Red Death. So that's another point. And the last gun that I'm going to use for this comparison is the Messenger. The Messenger is actually capable of a two burst kill, which is exactly the same as Thorn. The difference with the Messenger is just the fact that with the Messenger you don't get to crawl around the corner. It's instant death. So whereas Thorn is the damage over time on the 2 headshot kill that actually kills you. So the Messenger outguns Thorn. End of discussion. That's just a fact. If you do the 2 burst headshot, you take out the Thorn, and you don't, and he doesn't even get to crawl around the corner before he dies, or throw a grenade, or even fight back, because with the damage over time. So if you compare Thorn against the Messenger, Thorn, a good pulse rifle user will outgun Thorn using the Messenger. Also, another point that I wanted to make is the fact that the Messenger is a mere legendary, so it still gives you an exotic slot to use. So you can use, like, if you like snipers, you can use Icebreaker or Patience and Time or things like that. It's amazing that a mere legendary pulse rifle can be that good. Should we nerf the Messenger too, because it's capable of a two headshot kill? I personally don't think so. A lot of you guys are calling for hand cannons to be nerfed as a class just because of Thorn, and the fact that, you know, Thorn is popular is used as evidence that Thorn is definitely overpowered. And I will say this: Thorn is the only exotic hand cannon in the entire game which is a guaranteed drop because it's a bounty. All you have to do is to complete the bounty and you will have Thorn. And we are approaching the third expansion in the game, and guess what? Everyone has had the time to complete the bounty, so everyone has Thorn in their inventory. So and because Thorn is a good weapon means, well, if people want to maximize their chances of winning, they will use a good weapon. Just because Thorn is popular doesn't make it overpowered. So I'm completely against people calling for auto rifles to be nerfed, because I don't think, I mean, not auto rifles, hand cannon. I don't believe that hand cannons should be nerfed. And in fact, the clue is in the name. They are called hand cannons, not handguns like Call of Duty. They're supposed to perform as mini cannons, so they're supposed to have long range anyway. So yeah, I completely disagree with comments made that Thorn is overpowered, and or people that are saying that, oh, Thorn is used as a crutch for players that can't play the game. That's absolutely absurd. It's an insult even to the people that are using Thorn, because someone who uses Thorn still needs to get those headshots before they can kill people. I mean, even the damage over time will still kill you when he hits the body. But if you want to maximize Thorn, you need to aim for those headshots. So you need to have gun skills to use Thorn. You can't just expect to win every gunfight just because you have Thorn. Thorn isn't doing the aiming for you. And in fact, Thorn has only an aim assist of 60 compared to 100 for Vex Mythoclast, for example. In fact, Red Hand has an aim assist of nearly 90, if I'm not mistaken. Red Hand 9, and it's really good. And another point about Red Hand actually has got a hidden hand, which actually gives even more aim assist than the standard. I think it's 89 or 90. I think it is. I need to check Planet Destiny's database, but I know that Red Hand is one of the hand cannons with a very high aim assist. So if you wanted to say people are using a weapon as a crutch, I would say Red Hand would be considered one of those weapons because of the fact that it has high aim assist. It literally helps you aim. But Thorn at 60 doesn't have the highest aim assist of all primary exotics. Vex Mythoclast has the highest aim assist at 100. So just to summarize again, I don't think Thorn is overpowered. Thorn is popular because it's a very good hand cannon. It's up there in the top 10 exotic primaries. It's definitely up there, but out of all the 10 exotic primaries, Thorn is probably the only one that is a guaranteed drop through a bounty. And we are nearly a year into Destiny, so it's only normal that everyone who's been playing Destiny for more than, let's say, 3 months has a Thorn in their arsenal. And if Thorn is a decent weapon, I expect people to use it, especially when it comes to trials. So, you know, people that are complaining about Thorn being in trials and calling Trials of Osiris a game of Thorn, they just have no point. Just because it's popular doesn't mean it's overpowered. In fact, I think there are bigger problems that are plaguing Crucible or Trials of Osiris. A very good example of that is Final Round. You know, Final Round is a bigger problem than Thorn. I know not everyone has a sniper with Final Round, but you do get Final Round people in Trials of Osiris. Another problem with the Crucible, I will say, is the range of shotguns. I think those are important. Those are problems that need to be sorted. Fellwinter's Lie is literally a close range sniper. You know, those things like that need to be addressed. Or the fact that Blink can be maybe overpowered. I mean, I'm not necessarily for a nerf of Blink, but I do think that, you know, Blink is a bit. If you're not using Blink, then for mobility, I don't know what you're doing. You should be using blink if you use that subclass. I don't understand, you know, hunters that use double blade dancer, hunter that use double jump, or void walker warlocks that use the normal glide. If I'm using void walker, I'm blinking because that's the best for mobility. It's the best for evading trouble. So yeah, I will say those things need more of a look at than Thorn. And people that are advocating for hand cannons to be nerfed as a class are just the same people that got auto rifles ruined in the first place, because they were saying, oh, Cyril's regime is overpowered, we need to look at the auto rifles because you can't use anything to go against auto rifles. And what happened? The entire class got destroyed. So if you are currently advocating for hand cannons to be nerfed, just be careful what you wish for, because we are going to find ourselves in a situation where people are never really happy with whatever Bungie does. Because if we nerf hand cannons today, another type of weapons are going to rise to the surface. I mean, you're going to have maybe like scout rifles dominating, and then it's going to be, oh, Gillian's demise is overpowered, you need to look at that. It just gets ridiculous. I think this stage of the game, primaries in the game are actually quite balanced. The only thing that Bungie needs to do to really balance the game out is to bring auto rifle back to where they were, reduce the range of shotguns a little bit, and then find a way to sort that final round. That will make a much more balanced Crucible experience. But you know, that's just my opinion. Anyway, we've reached the end of the video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you guys think that I make fair points? If you guys have a different opinion, or if you guys think that Thorn definitely needs a nerf, I'm okay to listen to everyone's opinion. So if you have an opinion about the matter, and just write it down in the comment section below. I actually want to find out if I'm making a lot of sense, or if I'm just supporting Thorn just for the sake of supporting Thorn. I'm personally a Thorn user, and when I did this review and testing all the weapons, I actually converted to a Thorn, to a last word user. I'm now using last word more than Thorn, simply because I wanted to find out if Thorn was overpowered. So even in my own experience, I don't think Thorn is overpowered. I think last word is definitely better than Thorn, and I think Vex is definitely better than last word. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I want to really find out what you guys think. I don't think Thorn should be nerfed. I think auto rifles should come back to where they were, and range of shotguns should be nerfed, and final rounds should be sorted, and then we'll have a much more balanced Crucible experience. But that's it for today, guys. Yeah, just like, subscribe, leave a comment, and I'll be back with some more Destiny videos.
Gains the lead.